farming system in China. It was presented in Aqua India 2026 in Mahalipura. Shrimp production in China. China is leading in shrimp production. Its innovative technologies have a significant contribution. Seawater farmed shrimp have the highest share of 60% among total shrimp production, and Vietnam contributes the maximum 80% of it. The estimated Vietnamese production is about 1.8 to 2 million metric tons in 2025. Total shrimp feed production in 2025 was estimated 2.1 million metric ton. 2024, it was about 1.90 million metric ton, and estimated in 2026 is about 2.4 million metric ton. The estimated total aquafeed production is about 20 million tons, with major players being Haitha 5 million tons, Tongwei 3 million tons, and New Hope 1.5 million metric tons. The contribution of shrimp feed is about 1.3 to 1.5 million metric tons in 2024-25. Haitha feed is the major contributor with about 250,000 metric tons, Tongwei 200,000 metric tons, and Yuehai 180,000 metric tons. Both pellet and extruded type shrimp feeds are produced in China. Feed production facilities are automated and semi-automated. Shrimp feed production in 2025 was higher than in 2024. The year 2026 is hopeful to have a better production, but less likely due to higher disease incidences and lowering farm gate prices. When we talk about the shrimp feed quality, it's almost the same in the market, where crude protein varies from 28 to 46%, and moisture is 9 to 11, total ash 7 to 15%, total fat 5 to 9%, carbohydrate 12 to 20%, calcium 2 to 2.5, and phosphorus 1 to 2. Shrimp feed is a high protein feed with a major composition of animal protein and high palatability. The feed proximate composition varies between high to low protein content as per the market demand. The nursery feed has a high crude protein content, which goes up to 52%, high lipid content, and high fish meal percentage, which is also up to 50%. Most companies introduces flat composition of all sizes feed. So we can categorize shrimp farming system into three main categories: semi-intensive, intensive, and super intensive system. Semi-intensive is more like developed traditional system, which are mostly earthen and bigger size ponds, manual or automatic feeding, lower stocking density, one-step farming, and live shrimp harvesting. Intensive culture system, mostly earthen and few line ponds, automatic feeding, one or two step farming, moderate stocking density, and live shrimp harvesting. Super intensive culture systems are mostly indoor and concrete, automatic feeding, high stocking density, and these are high investment, and 2 to 3 step farming, and shrimps are harvested live. That is almost in all the culture system. Shrimps are harvested live and sold to the local market. Nursery culture parameters, roof type are open to covered, and if it is in the hatchery area, then concrete. Stocking density varies. In super intensive, it goes up to 800 pieces per meter square. Normal rearing days are 25 days to 30 days, depends on the size required in the grow-out ponds, and harvesting size is 0.9 gram or 4 centimeter. And they usually apply high crude protein feed, which is up to 52%. Then grow-out culture parameters, source of water are mostly from the sea and bore well in the where seawater is not available in plenty or highly contaminated. The concept of reservoir is less here. Super intensive usually use a RAS system, and water is taken directly from the sea, so there is no reservoir. Intensive generally use 15% of the culture area as a reservoir, and semi-intensive 10%. Water disinfection is done sometimes, which varies from 15 to 20 ppm of chlorine product is used, and the water exchange rate goes very high in super intensive system, which is up to 2000%. Pond type, if you look at semi-intensive, is earthen, intensive is concrete and HDP lined, and super intensive are also concrete mostly, and then HDP line. Um, Culture period varies from 80 to 130 days, depends on how many times the shrimp have been partially harvested and what is the size requirement. Dry period, that is between two crops. Ponds are disinfected, dried, and prepared for the next 20 to 30 days. And the average size of ponds are quite small. If you look at super intensive, it's 0.6 to 0.8 mu, and intensive is 1 to 2, and in semi-intensive are usually bigger, 5 to 8 mu. One mu will be 666 meter square area. Average depth of pond varies from 1 to 3 meter, so much deeper. And accordingly, the labor, per pond varies. And cost of one unit of farm construction goes about 100,000 RMB for semi-intensive. For intensive, it's 320,000 RMB, and super intensive is 16 million RMB. Operational cost is lower in semi-intensive, which is about 336,000 RMB per hectare. Intensive, 448,000 RMB per hectare, and for super intensive is 1.92 million RMB per hectare. Stocking density goes, smaller in semi-intensive, and super intensive goes up to 750 pieces per meter square. Survival rate varies from 65% to 75%. ATG is good, 0.23 to 0.24. Feeding rate is 2 to 5%. FCR is standard, I would say, 1 to 1.2. In super intensive system, it goes also up to 0.9. And average cost of 1 ton of shrimp production goes 28,000 RMB per ton for semi-intensive, 26,000 per ton for intensive, and 30,000 RMB per ton for super intensive system. We mostly go with monoculture, polyculture with tilapia to minimize the disease risk. Mostly vibrios are practiced. In southern China, some other fish and carps are also cultured along with the waname. If you look at the pond bottom disinfection, you can have after EHP and EMS, pond bottom disinfection is quite popular, and slack lime is used to increase the pH of pond bottom up to 12. And then some herbal products are used to disinfect the ponds just before filling up the water. These are to break down the spores of EHP. These are different systems for water disinfection. These are practiced both in hatcheries and in the RAS system. So you can see there is a disinfectant plants and ultrafiltration, ozone, and UV system. Hatcheries are as per the traditional and standard hatcheries, and transportation is done in both the ways, either in the trucks or in the plastic bags. If the grower pond is nearby, Then mostly animals from nursery are transferred manually to the grow ponds. These are the standard parameters for HD and super PLs. So the more emphasis is given on the size. Coefficient of variance of the size should not go much higher. And Vibrio, especially Vibrio parahemolyticus and Vibrio harvii, is targeted to be negative almost. These are how the semi-intensive pond bottom looks like. You can see it's very neat and clean. Before filling up the water is filled with the aeration, and then because most of the ponds are closed, covered with the shade, so plankton are injected on weekly or bi-weekly basis as per the requirements. Aeration is both types, diffusion, because generally ponds are deep and high aeration is required. They try to maintain 4.5 to 5 ppm dissolved oxygen. And then on the surface, you can also see the pedal wheel additives.
每口高位河2亩1300平方米。
Now these are the ponds in the southern China, where you can see these are
水有一点
shaded in diffusion system. Ponds are quite deep, 3 meters. Automatic freeway is there. Because of the high windy area, the ponds are shaded just at the surface of the. This is how a complete pond look like. These are the ponds under operation.
到时候就用这个朝脸。
These are the indoor system. You can see nursery, then go out. It's a super intensive HDP line ponds. You can see the aeration system, the water filtration, and culture. This is how intensive earthen and
天气太好了，温度太高，小红现都盖上了防晒网了。
solar shaded farms distributed into units, number of units you can see. So it's well distributed and organized. These are the sampling trays. You can see shrimps from different tanks. Also flowers. And of course, highest starting in Japan. And then I'm talking about the real-time monitoring. Other than the probes, we also use monitor from the home, sitting at the office. Utilization of CCTV cameras are at the maximum. They're at the different corners. They use it very efficiently. Then when you look at the concrete high-tech farms, they look like hatchery from outside, inside even. But only the main difference is the tanks are quite deep and they're in diffusion aeration system. And it's quite warm inside even in winter. Now this cost benefit. So this is the average cost of per commodity, per items. Then if you look at the total production cost is for semi-intensive system, it goes about 333,000, intensive 443,000 MMB, and super intensive about 1.9 9 million RMB. And profitability goes RMB per hectare per crop, 146,000 for semi-intensive, 196,000 for intensive, and 596,000 for super intensive system. This is harvesting by primary eyes. And the shrimp are sold in the restaurants, in the supermarkets. And these are the harvesting, transportation trucks. So different, and kids can play around in the restaurants. And this is for the home delivery. Shrimps are well packed, 400 to 450 gram in one package with chilled, iced, and aerated plastic bags are delivered within 30 minutes. So farm gate price, this is per kilogram, varies from 36 to 40, and depends on the size. 2025 was better. Hope for the better pricing in 2026 also. And it varies with the demand and with the season. When there is a festival season, the price is quite high, and lesser in the non-festival seasons. So key aspects on future outlook: technological shift. There is a high technological shift in the shrimp industry, and it going towards high density, land-based recirculating aquaculture system in modern facilities, reduces pollution and enhance biosecurity and land use. Domestic consumption: China's enormous domestic market consumes most of its production, live shrimp transportation, and display in restaurants. Biosecurity: innovations in greenhouse closed farming, high-tech water disinfection, line uses, and vigorous aeration. Growth and challenges: production slowed due to disease and higher costs, prompting increased imports, compensating with other species and marine fish. A small shed shrimp model has developed rapidly. Today, there are about 450,000 small shed shrimps in China. If calculated in hectares, the area is approximately 30,000 hectares. So that's the sector which is growing quite fast. Now, I would like to thank and introduce a bit about Avoidis Foods, where I'm working presently. So it's an integrated regional food and agribusiness company driven by our massive transformative, sustainably feeding Asia's growth from meal to meal. We believe in sustainably growing together with Asia's needs. As one of the Asia's largest privately owned food and agribusiness companies, it operates across 8 countries in Asia, has total 30 facilities in 8 countries, and altogether 3,800 employees. So Gold One was overtaken in 2018, which is a pioneer in animal nutrition and manufacturing scientifically balanced animal feed in Asia. Today, Gold Coin Feed is part of one of the largest privately owned agribusiness in the region, with over 20 facilities across the Asia Pacific region. We are dedicated to growing with our partners by producing a wide array of feeds tailored to nourish and meet the specific nutritional needs of animals at every life stage. Our commitment to quality is evident through our meticulous research and development, as well as our rigorous quality control, which ensures that we produce products that meet the highest standards. Together with Avoidis Foods, we are committed to nourishing the future with our over 3,700 partners across 8 countries: the Philippines, China, Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei, Indonesia, Singapore, and Thailand. At last, I would thank to Society of Aquaculture Professionals who organized Aqua India and invited me to speak on such a relevant topic. And thanks to Mr. Saji Chako, Mr. Ravi Alanki, Mr. Dr. Ramesh, who was our moderator, and Dr. Manoj Sharma. My thanks to Aboitiz Foods for my colleagues, and especially to Mr. Eric, CEO, Dr. Ong, Country Manager China, Dr. Yang, Mr. Tong, Shao, and Mr. Shu for providing relevant data and information, which made this presentation valuable, and Mr. Joven and his team for designing and making the slides more beautiful and attractive. Thank you very much.